Chairperson of AREWA Consultative Forum has come out to make this plea that Boko Haram bandit and Fulani headsmen should be given amnesty as was done with Niger Delta Militant. Now I beg to ask you, what is the relationship? What fight are the Boko Haram bandits fighting for? What are the Fulani bandits or headers? What are they fighting for? To dip the Quran into the Atlantic Ocean, is it not? Everybody must get themselves set, especially those in the churches. Get yourself ready for self-defense, because the Nigerian state has obviously failed. We talked about the creation of the state police. They actually treat those with kid gloves. The Nigerian government by now should have passed the bill for the creation of state police. Yes, the North is seeking amnesty for Boko Haram bandits and the Fulani headsmen, just like it was accorded to the Niger Delta Militant. I've said this before, that terrorism is big business in Nigeria. And there are those who are sympathizers of those terrorist organizations. Otherwise, the act of terrorism would have already been eradicated in the North. I thought it was only Sheikh Gumi who was a terrorist sympathizer. Today or yesterday, the chairperson of AREWA Consultative Forum has come out to make this plea that Boko Haram bandit and Fulani headsmen should be given amnesty as was done with Niger Delta Militant. Now I beg to ask you, what is the relationship? What fight are the Boko Haram bandits fighting for? What are the Fulani bandits or headers? What are they fighting for? To dip the Quran into the Atlantic Ocean, is it not? Their fight is a fight of conquest. The Niger Delta Militant fought against environmental degradation, which actually reduced their economic power marginally because of the oil spill in the Niger Delta that have actually chased farmers away from the rivers where they fish and from the land where they plant crops. The Niger Delta Militants fought such that the Nigerian government must offer compensation to the people of the Niger Delta for actually taking away all the minerals and all the crude oil in the Niger Delta and then leaving their land in a state of non-repairability. They talked about oil spillage. They talked about their inability to farm in their farmlands. All right? And then the accessibility to good potable water that is a resultant effect of these oil spillages in the Niger Delta. Now the Fulani bandits, what are they actually clamoring for? Land grabbing, and then you bring them and then you give them amnesty. On what premise? The former president of Nigeria, Obasanjo, actually came out still yesterday and said that the Nigerian state has failed to protect its citizens. So we have the right to call the international community to actually come to our aid, because the government whose sole aim is to protect life and properties of Nigerians have failed in doing so. Nigeria is a country, as a country, is a serious joke, because issues that matters, we sweep them under the carpet. A country where the judicial system plays two roles or talks from two sides of his mouth. One agitator, you give him life imprisonment, and the other Fulani bandit, you give him 20 years imprisonment. Why will the people not invite the international community to come to their aid? Now you talk about the protections of life and property. I always tell Nigerians that everybody must get themselves set, especially those in the churches. Get yourself ready for self-defense, because the Nigerian state has obviously failed. We talked about the creation of the state police. They actually treat those with kid gloves. The Nigerian government by now should have passed the bill for the creation of state police. But how do they handle this matter? They sweep it under the carpet, because the moment the state police are being created and are being controlled by the citizens of each state, the Fulani bandits and Boko Haram members will have no hiding place, because these people know their terrain even more than the Fulani headers. Why are you still sweeping the issue of state police under the carpet? If you do not want to create state police, why not make a legislation that allows every citizen of Nigeria who can afford it to acquire arms? After all, the Fulani headsmen carry AK-47, of which they use to foment trouble across the nation. Nobody is safe in Nigeria anymore, from the north itself down to the Atlantic Ocean. It seems that there is a ploy by these same people to conquer all the regions of the south, and this they are doing mindlessly. So if we come out and we continue to negotiate with terrorists, terrorism will never end, because the moment you settle a particular group, another group of miscreants will emerge. They already understand that the business of terrorism is an oil or churning or a money churning venture. You cannot, no meaningful country negotiates with terrorists. You must fight them down to their mothers' bellies. Even if they hide in their mother's belly, you must fight them down. You must hunt them down. Now, sometimes I even get angry when I see a lot of all these guys who comes out most times and claim that that they are cultists. And then the only time you know how to shout and yell is when there is a confrontational wars. Now, those in the north who are in this cult and you are still coming out to cry, it is a time to show your power. Yes, now, go and show your power to the Fulani bandits. Not when you see gullible citizens, you begin to bring guns and threaten people up and down. For the Nigerian government, you are a failure. The Nigerian government, everybody knows, is a failure. They failed to protect. That is because the primary aim of every government is the protection of life and properties. And when your people are being killed, and then you go down kneeling and begging bandits, what are you giving them amnesty for? What is the purpose of the Nigerian army? What's the purpose of the Nigerian Air Force and the Nigerian Navy? What's the purpose of the Nigerian police? It is to hunt down criminals. The army is to protect the territorial integrity of Nigeria. If you are sure, or if you are not sure you can protect the territorial integrity of Nigeria, then arm every Nigerian, let each man protect himself. Because I am sure that if you come to my home and you are aware that I have gun, the same kind of gun that you have, that I have them within my grasp, you will be more careful, right? The international community must take note. The Nigerian government have failed, and the Fulani headers and the bandits are being protected by the northern elite, just as the chairman of the AREWA Consultative Forum has come out to beg. Give them amnesty. Rehabilitate them. We've rehabilitated enough Boko Haram bandits in this country. And that is why even some military apparatus cannot work, because you rehabilitate them and then you incorporate them into the army. The country cannot work in this manner. If this is the way you guys want to do, then let this country be divided, or rather, you can even go regional. Let us go back, return to regionalism. Every region with their own police. And then maybe the federal government can just hold the army, the immigration issues, and the currency and the economy. Why each region determines their own fate personally. Because I believe that for every region in Nigeria, they have something that is within them. But the political class would not want this, because all of them wants the money from the oil from the Niger Delta, right? That is the interest, and that is the purpose of the unity of this country. So that one region will exploit the others. You want to be giving amnesty just like the Niger Delta Militants were giving amnesty. Do you have the peculiar condition that that existed in the Niger Delta that warranted young men to bear arms against the government? You do not have those. So you do not have the moral right to come and seek for amnesty. You